Hi, and welcome back to Yoga with Alicia. Today we have some grounding in our practice. So we're going to come into our Savasana to start, actually. So come into lying on your back, on your mat. You can keep your knees resting against each other, so knees bent, feet on the floor. Let them rest against each other for support, or you can fully extend your legs and let them relax, whatever is more comfortable for your back. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, breathing in through your nose, come all the way down to your belly, and breathing out through your nose. Take a couple more deep breaths, and allow your mind to start to clear. And as your thoughts start to lift and float away, we're going to turn our focus onto what we can feel in our body. Starting with our feet, feel any tension in your feet or your ankles. Take a deep breath and send that healing energy down to your ankles, letting them relax. Notice your knees. Do you have any discomfort? Be comfortable where they are. But your hips. Do you have any tightness across the back, the low back, or in the front of the hips? Let them relax. Spread up through your back, pressing your back into the ground, allowing your shoulder blades to rest against the ground, feeling your neck relax and your jaw relax. Start to walk your feet together so that your knees are touching, your knees are bent. We're going to just rock back and forth. Just in a gentle spinal twist. You can now stretch your arms in a T and just rock back and forth. Starting to get some movement through our spine, through our body. You can hold to the left for a couple of breaths. And then bring your knees back to center and let them come to the right. Bring your gaze to the left. And then back up to center. Give your knees a hug and just roll back and forth, giving your back a little massage. You can bring your knees closer to your chest and out a little bit, back and forth. And you can massage into that low back. And then you're going to start to rock all the way up into a sitting position. If that's really uncomfortable for you, you can come onto your side and then up into a sitting position. Come all the way up to standing. We're going to face the long edge of your mat in mountain pose. This is a really great grounding pose, keeping your legs engaged, your abdomen engaged, shoulder blades pulled down your back. You can imagine as you stand here, your roots growing down into the ground, holding you steady. And now bend your knees, push your hips back, and your arms swing forward to chair pose. You can keep your hands at your heart if that's a little easier for you. And then we're going to extend the left arm, right arm comes over top. Intertwine the hands for eagle arms. It's a really great stretch for between your shoulders. Keep your hips sunk back, your knees stay behind your toes. Unwind your arms, stay in that squat. We're going to switch sides, so right arm out, left arm over top. I'm going to twist your hands to face each other. I know this is tough. You're going to feel the heat starting in your legs. You can do it. Pull those roots nice and deep and come on up, releasing the arms. And then you're going to come to standing at the facing the short edge of your mat. Scoop your arms up and exhale and fold down, forward fold. Hands touching the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Step back into plank, chaturanga. Lift to cobra, back down. Tuck your toes and press back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward so you're standing at the short edge of your mat. Scoop your arms up and bring your hands to your heart. We're going to do that again. Scoop your arms up, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Come to lying on the mat. Hands under shoulders, press back to cobra. Inhale, tuck your toes and press back into dog. Keep those hips pressed up and step forward with the right foot. And come up into warrior one, keeping the right knee behind the right toe, your back leg extended, your tailbone tucked under. Turn your left foot so it's parallel with the end of the mat, and arms come down into warrior two. A nice deep breath here, keeping your inner thighs squeezed together. Take your right arm down to your knee. Extend the left arm overhead. You can reach your right hand right down to the mat if you're able for this extended side angle. A nice side body stretch here. Deep breaths, and then cycle the arms back up. Left hand comes down the left leg, right arm extends up for reverse warrior. And then come back to neutral and step the left foot forward. I'm going to take the right foot back. So we're going to come into warrior one from standing. Lunge forward with that left leg, knee staying behind the toes. Letting your hips sink down to the mat and stay extended through the spine. Turn the right foot back so it's parallel with the short edge of the mat. Arms extended out to the sides in a T for warrior two. Sink your hips down as low as you can go. Try and get that front leg parallel with the ground. Reach forward with the left hand. Right arm extends overhead. Now, it's a nice side body stretch. If you're sort of in between, you can always place a block beside your left foot so you can be a little bit closer to the floor, increase that stretch. Come back, cycle back up into reverse warrior. Right arm slides down the right leg. Left arm extends overhead. Sink down into your pose. Come back up to neutral and step forward. Arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank, chaturanga. Press up into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale, scoop your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank. Chaturanga, lower yourself right to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, press back into dog. Walk your feet forward to forward fold. Inhale, arms scoop up. Exhale to your heart. Now come into standing, facing the long edge of your mat. Feet wide apart, toes pointed towards the corners of your mat. Hands to your hips. Tuck your tailbone in and sink your bottom down into a goddess pose. Your knees should track over that second toe. Bring your hands to your heart. Lengthen up through the spine, through the crown of your head. And reach your hands up into a cactus pose. Pulling those shoulder blades down your back. Hands to your hips. Extend the legs. Walk your toes forward. Bending at the hips, come into a wide-legged forward fold. Let everything go here. Reach from that left leg. Take some nice deep breaths as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, deepen the fold. Now walk your hands across to the right leg. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen the fold. Back to the center. Walk your hands forward. And back as you deepen the fold. And bend your knees. And you can come to sitting on the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Come into a bound angle pose. Let your knees fall out to the sides. If you need to, place a block or a blanket under your knees so they can relax. Really allow your hips to open up. Stay nice and long through the spine. And you can start to lean forward there if you need a little bit more through the hips. Get some more stretch through the back of the hip. Nice deep breaths. Noticing your body. And tuck your feet around behind you. Coming onto your knees. You're going to come into a half kneeling position. So you're up nice and tall. Top of your feet pressed into the mat. Hands to your low back. And reach back. A nice arch for camel pose. Opening the chest. Your gaze comes up to the sky. Now if you can reach back for a block or your ankles. If that's in your practice today, you can do that. Some nice deep breaths. Open your heart. Connect to the ground. Come back. Rest your buttocks back on your heels. Come into all fours so you can widen your knees, and then you're going to sink your hips back into child's pose. Keep your arms extended here. We're going to switch things up a little bit and do our final resting pose in child's pose. You're also more than welcome to come into a Savasana if that's more comfortable for you. So you can feel the ground underneath your knees, underneath your arms. If you want to get into a little bit more restful pose, if there's, you can also put a bolster underneath or some big pillow underneath your torso to rest on. Taking some nice deep breaths here as you root into the ground. Find things in yourself that are constant, that you can rely on when you're having a difficult time. What is it that you go to? Is it a person? Is it an activity? Whatever helps you find your ground, whatever helps you find that solid part of yourself that you know is always there and you can always count on. The better grounded we are, the better we'll be able to weather any storms that come our way. You can stay here in child's pose for as long as you like. When you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Coming back to center, coming back to present. You can come up onto your knees. Resting your hips back on your heels. Hands to your heart. Hope that you find strength today in your practice for the rest of your day. Namaste.